Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us on Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. The next game we're going to cover is the 7-7 Seattle Seahawks against the 11-3 Kansas City Chiefs. This game is on Fox. Where I see it, the Chiefs are a 10-point favorite. The over-under set at 48.5 points. Some gambling trends before we get everyone's analysis. The home team is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between the two. The Seahawks are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 meetings with the Chiefs. The over is 5-1 in the Seahawks' last 6 road games. The over is 5-1 in the Chiefs' last 6 games in December. And the over is 5-1 in the Seahawks' last 6 games on Saturday. I'll kick this one off. The Butt Fumble Sports pick for this game is the over. Love the over 47 points after I buy it down. I do lean slightly towards Kansas City on the money line, but I also really like the Seattle Seahawks to cover. I would buy the 1.5, get Seahawks plus 11.5, take Chiefs on the money line. And like I mentioned, the over, I think there are going to be a lot of points in this game. Adam, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I agree with you on both sides completely. Kansas City really struggled last week against Houston, but their last 3 games have been on the road, so they're finally back at home. And Seattle did lose to San Francisco at home on Thursday night, so they got a little bit of extra rest. Kansas City, #1 league in the pass. Seattle's number 9th in the pass. However, Lockett's out, and Walker is still questionable as he did not practice today. The big thing for me in this game is the spread is so big, and Kansas City's defense over the last 3 games has given up 24, 28, and 24 points, and 2 of those teams was Houston and Denver, 2 of the most offensively challenged teams in the league, and not to mention Chris Jones now is questionable with an illness as well. Geno Smith, 7 of the last 8 games, he's thrown 2 or more touchdown passes, and Kansas City versus the Rams at home won 24-10, but every other game at home this year has been pretty close, if not a single score game. So I'm with you. I buy the points down. I love the over. And get Kansas City up to minus 10.5 and play Seattle in this one. I think Seattle's offense is good enough to keep this thing close, and I just think that number is way too big for this one.
Lope, are you following Adam and myself?
On the Seahawks, yes. On the over, I actually got the under. I think the last 4 games the Chiefs had at Arrowhead Stadium have gone under. So, these Chiefs that they should be blowing these some of these bad teams out, and they've let them hang around. Mahomes sometimes with some careless turnovers. So I definitely think the Seahawks plus 9.5 is the strong play. But I am a little weary on your guys' going over.
Interesting. Getting some different action on that total play. Really like to hear it. Dennis, from a fantasy standpoint, DK Metcalf, do we like him? How do we feel about Kenneth Walker III? And, of course, Travis Kelce, could we expect a really big day from him, given he's going up against the Seattle Seahawks defense that's one of the worst in the NFL against tight ends?
I totally agree with you on that last point. Kelsey's a beast. Whatever he's going to cost, go with him on DFS if you want to have a guaranteed at the tight end position. On Seattle side of the ball, Marquise Goodwin, I think, is a great pickup. First of all, even if you're in the playoffs and you lost Tyler Lockett, such as myself, he's currently rostered in only 1% of leagues. You're going against the 29th ranked defense against wide receivers for fantasy points. I would absolutely feel comfortable starting him this week, whether he's in your wide receiver 2 or your flex position. And on DFS, he's a little more expensive than he typically has been. But it's definitely worth a flyer. And I think he's only 2 games removed from having put up 95 yards. So we know he's got the talent. He definitely has the speed.